Hi there, it's August 8th, 2025, and I'm about to do my 8th shave of Austere August. Austere August is a challenge that we in the Wetshaving subreddit take on as a reaction to our Lather games. The idea behind the Lather games is to use pretty much a separate complete setup every day of June. And Austere August is a reaction to that, where the goal is to only use one setup for the whole month. This month, and of course, we can't leave well enough alone, so we have all kinds of challenges that we can take on for Austere August should we wish. In my case, I'm taking on 3 challenges. The first challenge is called Shepherds of Stirling. And the idea is to use a Stirling mutton-based tallow soap. I'm using one that was specially formulated for, again, our community on Reddit. You can tell that it has the little snoo on the label, and this is the Irisch Moos scent, but on a mutton tallow base. And then the second challenge I'm doing is called the Headless Horseman, and the challenge behind that is to use a straight razor for all of August, all 31 days of August. That's not a challenge for me. I use a straight razor most of the time, and I shave every day, so 31 straight shaves is no big deal. So what I'm doing to challenge myself is I'm not stropping the razor. So I honed the razor July 31st, used it on August 1st, and have not stropped it. I've taken a microscopic record of this, and for this video, I'll show you the microscope image of the edge right as it came off the stones. And now I'll show you a microscope image of the edge after yesterday's shave. So this is the edge after 7 shaves. And of those 7 shaves, 5 were 3-pass shaves, and 2 were 2-pass shaves, so 19 passes in all. And I'm trying most of the time to do 3-pass shaves, but I go depending on how I feel each day. The third challenge that I'm taking on is called the Raw Hoggin Challenge. And in my case, that's to use a Boar brush starting new on the first day and not doing anything to break it in other than use it. And so I'm doing raw hogging this month. I've done all of these challenges. Well, I haven't done the Shepherds of Stirling challenge before, but I've done raw hogging and I've done Headless Horseman before. And I've done other challenges in August. So it's actually my favorite challenge month because I can always set out a personal challenge to improve my technique or my knowledge in some area. Not much more to say. All of the shaves so far have been very, very comfortable. The mutton base, hang on. The mutton base has an awful lot going for it. It's an excellent base. Some folks who are doing other challenges, in particular those folks who are doing the Midnight Stag Challenge and are using a very old tub of Midnight Stag, you know, they're locked into a less modern soap base, and so potentially they're not getting the kind of premium lather that you would get with a modern artisan base, because almost all of them are very good. All right. Base is prepared. Let's this soap is so slick. I have to dry my hands just to use the brush. I always find that it's a very nice break. It's always a very nice break to just use something that you really enjoy for 31 days in a row. And then it's fun to get back to having a choice, you know, each day. The summer months, the summer weather here in the mid-Atlantic states, northern hemisphere, hence summer, has been pretty difficult, except for the last few days, which have been gorgeous. Still hot by most people's standards, but gorgeous for mid-Atlantic United States. So, nice to have a bit of a break from the intense heat and humidity. As you can see from the microscope images, not much has changed on the edge. And not surprisingly, shave quality and comfort have not changed either. This razor, this is a Koraat 14 2.0, only it was made for our wet shaving group, again on Reddit. I'll see if I can show you the little snoo. There you go, you can see the little snoo there on the tang. We're fortunate to have pretty good engagements from a number of artisans. We're working on another razor right now. I won't say what it is, but there's at least 15 folks who are in on it, and that will probably grow. Now, this is something that it's in the discussion stage right now, so it's one of those things where nothing could come of it. These things have a tendency to, so far, these things have a tendency to become a reality. One of the old guard in our wet shaving community is Sugar Daddy Shaves, and he's primarily a DE shaver, but he's very experienced. He has a YouTube channel. He's been making videos for a long time, and he's into marathon challenges, meaning he uses a single DE blade, mind you, for a lot of shaves. Now, back in my day when I started shaving, Paleolithic era, the idea, and I started with a DE, the idea, double-edged razor, the idea was that you pretty much used one blade for a month. But this was in the era of single pass. You know, you lathered, you did a single pass, and you were done. So in today's wet shaving world, you know, that would be, you know, 7 or 8 days of shaving. I'm sorry, 10 days of shaving if you're doing 3-pass shaves. A lot of us throw a blade away after a lot fewer shaves. Anyway, he's managed to use a single DE blade for 580 shaves, just getting broken in. And I think somewhere between 600 and 650 shaves, he's going to send me that blade to look at under the microscope. It'll be interesting to see what I find. I suspect what I'm going to see is a very rounded over edge, and that's it. But you know, you never know till you know. Now, Sugar Daddy is an expert at making lathers, and he primarily does bowl lathering, but he also does something called the slurry lather method, which is akin to what I do. In fact, I borrowed a lot of his slurry lather method in the way that I lather. And he took on my method, or tried my method. In a recent shave on his channel. And you can go over there and see what he thought of it. And he got most of what I am about with the way I do it. His lather is a lot drippier than mine. Mine is very wet, and I'll tell you why, partly why. Mine is very wet, but I need more structure to the lather so it does not run all over the straight razor. In particular, when you're holding the actual blade in your fingers, if you get super slick wet lather on your fingers, it makes holding the blade a lot more difficult. So you don't want that, and then you don't want wet soap, wet lather running into the pivot area, because that's hard to dry. But he got pretty much everything right about the way I do it. One thing that I think I do a little more than he did is I really emphasize a wet, very, very wet base, very wet and slick base before I apply the lather. And that really helps the lather to stay wet. And then I keep the cup that I soak my brush in right here, and a quick dip of the brush tips to add water, which I just did. Takes no time at all and allows me to adjust hydration of the lather very quickly. So it isn't time consuming to adjust the lather to the proper level of hydration, and I can optimize it for a straight razor shaving. So if you're so inclined and would like to get a master's degree in bowl lathering, head over to his channel. And he always has, Sugar Daddy always had very interesting observations, very detailed and very interesting observations about hardware. I've learned quite a bit about DE razors from him. And he owns a Moarteen. We call this the Moarteen. He owns a Moarteen. I would love for him to become a regular straight razor saver so I could use his attention to detail and observations as a way to learn more for myself. So, it's all about me. So how do I think the edge is going to go this month? I think it's going to go just fine. I think I'm going to have hang on, I have an aversion to cutting my nose off. I think I'm going to have great shaves all month. And the reason I say that is hang on. The reason I say that is I did this last year. And the trick I use, really the only trick I use, is to prepare the edge really, really well. Always come off the stone with the sharpness that I want. Don't rely on stropping for sharpness. And then maintain good technique. Keep the edge cutting beard hair and not digging into skin. Have as much resistance as possible. Limited only cutting beard hair. So my normal recommendation of low angle and light touch is what I practiced this month, and I can see the effect of that on the edge. I'm going to a little bit of Thayers cucumber. And now I'm going to pause, clean up a little bit, get the straight razor out of this humid bathroom, and then I'll be right back. All right, everything's cleaned up. Here's the brush after rinsing and drying. All I do to rinse is put it under high pressure water and sort of squeeze out all the soap. Then I take the brush and sort of do this on the towel a bit and then dry it off, and that's it. That's all I do. As you can see, it's breaking in nicely. Only 8 uses so far, and I guarantee you it's going to get a lot less stiff, a lot more split boar hairs, and a lot more cloud-like. For the aftershave, I'm using the Irisch Moos aftershave from Stirling. This has a fair amount of alcohol in it, but by my standards, not too bad. I like, there's literally for me no burn. I have a full-on BBS with 3 passes, full-on BBS, and no burn whatsoever. What I like about it is the antiseptic feeling of the alcohol drying as it hits your skin. Dries very, very rapidly. There's a feel to that I like. And last but not least, I'm using the real thing. Irish Moos is a dupe of Irish Moos, and so I'm using the real thing as a Cologne. As you might imagine, the real thing is much more detailed than the scent that is in the soap or mixed in with aftershave ingredients, but they complement each other very, very well. All right, thank you for being with me. I'll pick up on another austere August shave after a few days, probably a week or so. I mean, doing 31 of these would be boring. Doing 31 videos would be incredibly boring for you to watch. So I'll check in with you and let you know how I'm doing in about a week. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you in the next one.